Hello everyone and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Metal. Today I have a video that I thought would be good to kind of start this reboot of the channel. Since it's been about 5 years since I last really posted anything of real substance on this channel, that being my first impressions of Red's album Declaration back in April of 2020, I figured a thing that I could do to kind of get back into the swing of things with this channel was to talk about my favorite albums of the decade so far. This decade has had 5 years, basically, in between that last video and now, right now, as I'm recording this. And so I figured something that I could do to kind of talk about some of the albums that have come out that I've kind of missed in this kind of meantime that I haven't been doing this channel is to talk about my favorites. And so for this, this video is going to be split into 3 parts, where I'm going to go over my top 30 favorite albums of the 2020s so far. For this, I have selected my 6 favorite albums from each year and ranked them from my least favorite to my favorite, and each of the 3 videos will be covering 10 of those albums. Of course, with this having selected my 6 favorite albums of each year, there are plenty of albums and EPs as well, which I am including some EPs in here. Plenty of releases anyway that I loved that just did not make the cut, especially from 2022 and 2024. Like every year of the past 5 years has had some amazing releases, but those 2 years, especially like last year, man, I could have made practically half of this list out of 2024 releases, I think. So I will include some honorable mentions here so you can see all of those. Go check out all of these albums as well because they're also really great. But I picked my 6 favorites from each year, ranked them all, and so that's what this little series is going to be for you guys. I don't think I have anything else to talk about in this intro, so hope you enjoy. Beginning the list at number 30 is my number 6th ranked album for 2020, which is Loath's I Let It In and It Took Everything. This is an album which received a lot of praise upon its release, but I never listened to it until a little over a year later. This is an album that nowadays I honestly don't return to a huge amount, but back when I did listen to it a lot, I was really into it. It's a great album combining several different genres, including metalcore, nu metal, and shoegaze, creating a sound that is quite unique. Some highlights for me include Aggressive Evolution and Gourd, which are both quite heavy songs with some fun riffs. Is It Really You, which is more of a ballad with an excellent vocal performance, and my personal favorite, New Faces in the Dark, which has a unique song structure and one of the most hype-inducing breakdowns I've ever heard in my life. An album that is definitely deserving of the praise it receives, which lands it at number 30 on my list. Next album is Analnath Rax and Darkenment, which is at number 29 and is my number 5 ranked album from 2020. Analnath Rax is a band that I listened to a ton in the couple of years leading into this album. This meant I was very excited for its release, which was then followed up with what I would consider to arguably be the band's strongest release. Which is saying a lot, because this band has been around for over 20 years at this point and has released some amazing albums in their discography. Combining their signature blend of black metal, death metal, grindcore, and industrial elements with increased melody and epic clean choruses, this album truly felt like the soundtrack to the chaotic year that was 2020. The title track is a particular standout, featuring an incredible chorus and fantastic guitar melodies that would get stuck in my head constantly. The Age of Starlight Ends and Create Art Though the World May Perish are also personal favorites, with the former including some good atmosphere and an amazing guitar solo, and the latter having a chorus that wouldn't feel too out of place in an Iron Maiden song of all things. A fantastic album overall. 28 is going to be my number 4 ranked album for 2020, and I swear the rest of these are not just going to be 2020 in order. That album is Emin Muel's Fr Angathfork, which I hope I pronounced somewhat correctly. This Tolkien-inspired black metal project is my personal favorite quote-unquote summoning clone, even outdoing the band they are clearly inspired by in my opinion. Despite these guys being very heavily inspired by Summoning, obviously, this one really kind of has their own sound and style that I appreciate that really focuses heavily on the orchestration and the atmosphere, whereas at least in comparison to these classic Summoning albums that I've heard, they kind of didn't have quite the same sound that this project does, which is what makes this one my personal favorite of that style. Their third album's a great one, featuring memorable melodies, epic orchestral arrangements, and a strong sense of atmosphere. Halls of the Fallen is my personal favorite song here. It features some of my favorite melodies on the album and some choral elements towards the end that I love. This one's perfect for any metalheads out there who like their music to feel epic and fantastical. Next at number 27 is going to be Humanity's Last Breath's Vald, released in 2021 and is my number 6 favorite album from that year. Humanity's Last Breath is a band that just gets better over time, and so it's no surprise that this album makes my list. With the band truly solidifying their signature sound from their previous album, Abyssal, this one takes it and progresses it even further. This album is full of great riffs and breakdowns and a dark and heavy atmosphere that this band is so good at creating. Tide is my favorite track here, with some cool glitchy guitar sounds in the verses, an awesome breakdown following the first chorus, and an extremely atmospheric, doomy ending that features some excellent yet sparingly used clean vocals. Descent, Vittering, and fan favorite Earthless are also some highlights here, all of which earn this album a spot at number 27. At number 26, we have Guardians by August Burns Red, which is my number 3 favorite album from 2020. I've been a fan of August Burns Red for many years now, and they've always consistently put out quality metalcore. This album kind of disappointed me at first, though, yet as time's gone on, I've come to appreciate it more. It takes a simpler, more straightforward approach than their more progressive and experimental albums which preceded it and followed it, making it a more easily digestible album than some of their other work. And as much as I like their more experimental kind of stuff, like Rescue and Restore, I think is the album that really kind of started that, Found in Faraway Places, and Phantom Anthem, which is probably my personal favorite August Burns Red album, to even extending to their newest album. Sometimes you just need something a little bit back to basics, and this album to me really is reminiscent of the band's early material. The first half of this album has some of my favorite songs in the band's discography, with opener The Narrative providing excellent riffs and traditional ABR goodness, before moving into a slightly more varied set of songs like Bones, Defender, and Lighthouse, the last of which features a rare clean chorus which the band rarely uses. The ending trilogy of Extinct by Instinct, Empty Heaven, and possibly my favorite on the album, Three Fountains, give the album an excellent closing section which solidifies this album as one of my personal favorites from August Burns Red. At number 25, we have Phineas's The Fire Itself, which is my 5th favorite album from the year 2021. Phineas is a band that I've been aware of for over a decade now, yet never checked out until a year or two ago with this album. The Fire Itself begins with the absolutely huge opener, Eternally Apart, a song which has an excellent build-up, incredible melodic riffs, and a fantastic solo. To me, one of the best metalcore songs I have ever heard. This is followed by the title track, which provides more great riffs and a fun ending breakdown, as well as Thorns, which has one of my favorite main guitar riffs on the album. Another personal favorite of mine is The Storm in Me, the album's ballad, which includes an incredibly emotional and impactful vocal performance and some great lyrics. These songs and more make this one of my favorite metalcore albums of the decade so far. Then at number 24, we have I Prevail's True Power, which is my 6th favorite album of 2022. Completing this little trilogy of metalcore albums, True Power is the first album from I Prevail I've truly loved, even though I have liked some of their past material. This is an album that I always forget how much I like until a song or two comes on from my metalcore playlist and I end up queuing up half the album. This is one of those bands that I just like, even though I liked some of their early stuff, I never got really that into them. I just always kind of assumed they were a band that wouldn't be for me, but especially with their last couple of albums, they've really expanded their sound a lot, done some really interesting and unique things, and are nowadays one of, I think, the most versatile bands in the metalcore genre when it comes to this particular style of metalcore. From the incredible and epic feeling opener, there's Fear and Letting Go, to more ballad-like tracks and personal favorites like Deep End and Closure, to FWYTYK's nearly plagiaristic homage to Doom's BFG division, which is honestly awesome. This album is just full of fun songs that I always immensely enjoy whenever they come on my metalcore playlist. At 23, we have Powerwolf's Call of the Wild, my number 3 ranked album from 2021. Powerwolf always delivers an enjoyable album, and I'd say this is one of their best. Call of the Wild continues the extensive orchestral elements that the band implemented on their previous album, The Sacrament of Sin, while making the songs even catchier and easier to get stuck in your head. This album captures Powerwolf's signature sound while providing some unique aspects that lend it some variety. Tracks such as the opener Faster Than the Flame or Glaubenskraft feel like pretty standard fare for modern Powerwolf. The singles Dancing with the Dead and Beast of Gévaudan, as well as the title track, are fun and upbeat songs that feel a little more unique. A personal favorite of mine is Alive or Undead, a ballad with heavy orchestration and a fantastic vocal performance. This one I still return to a lot, which solidifies its place on the list. At number 22, we have Sulphur Aeon's 7 Crowns and 7 Seals, my number 6th ranked album from 2023. This Lovecraft-themed blackened death metal band has released a few albums before that I loved, but this is probably my favorite of them. This band has such a great way of building atmosphere in their music, really fitting their lyrical themes, as well as including bleak yet beautiful melodies in their riffs and leads. And by the way, I am a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft's written work, so seeing a band that is able to so flawlessly capture the atmosphere of his work in metal is just super cool. Opener Hammer from the Howling Void is one of my favorite songs on the album, really setting the tone well for what's to come, as does the follow-up Usurper of the Earth and Sea. My favorite song, though, may be the title track. It's arguably the most melodic song on the album, including a significant amount of clean vocals and clean guitars, as well as some excellent riffs and a great guitar solo. These guys are criminally underrated, as their placement in this list reflects. Then at number 21, we have Architects with their album For Those That Wish to Exist, my number 3 ranked album from 2021. I got into Architect shortly before their previous album, Holy Hell, which I loved, so I was really excited for this one. It does mark a significant departure from their previous sound, but I think it works. Rather than their usual atmospheric, somewhat progressive metalcore sound, this one goes for a more radio-friendly sound. That said, it still has its heavy moments, and even the different sound still works in many places. Lead single Animals is a very head-bangable track, with some catchy, rhythmic chugging and an anthemic chorus. Big choruses aren't rare on this album, as shown by other songs like Meteor or the underrated Libertine. My favorite on the album is the gorgeous Dead Butterflies, bringing in some excellently placed symphonic elements, which I'm always a sucker for. This album also has the plus of being re-recorded live at Abbey Road with a full orchestra, which is a fantastic alternate version of this great album. It might be a little overly long at 14 tracks, not including the intro, and almost an hour in length, but the quality is high throughout. So that wraps up the first part of my ranking. If you're wondering why I look different, I just actually finished recording the second batch of recordings for the next episode of this little series, because I completely forgot to record an outro the other day. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you stick around for part 2 and part 3, which should be coming soon. And yeah, if you have listened to any of these albums before, let me know in the comments. And let me know what some of your favorite albums of the last 5 years have been as well. And of course, stay tuned for parts 2 and 3. So that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.